Hey guys, Shadow Rockets here, and today I want to talk about childhood. Now, I think very appropriately in the game footage in the background, you will see Donkey Kong 64. This is played on a Nintendo 64. It's not me playing, however, it is two of my friends playing because I really felt that one of them needed to play Donkey Kong 64. He wanted to really bad, and I only had two controllers, so I let him play. It's all good though. Shout out to Andre and Andy. Thank you guys for playing and doing really well. So, also, it's recorded on my Elgato. If you guys want to find out how I did that, go ahead and send me a message or leave a comment, and I will show you the way. So let's get on to talk about childhood for this Throwback Thursday that I totally planned on doing last week, but I got really busy with school and work and just people visiting me. So here I am a week later. I'm sorry about that. I might put out two videos this week just to make up for it. So what I really wanted to talk about was a problem that I feel is rampant in our day and age, as with all of these videos. Um, and I feel that my main point of today is, where did we decide that we will not follow our childhood dreams, our aspirations, our ambitions? Because if you think about it, when we were children, when we were kids, I would say even up to maybe, let's say like 12 or 13, we even had dreams that were dreams of grandeur. Um, and somewhere along the line, we found out that either we didn't want to do those dreams, or we didn't want to do those jobs, or those jobs were too hard. We may have given up. Um, we may have gotten lazy. We may have lost our ambition to do things. We may have just not felt like doing it. Maybe got in the wrong crowd and thought that we couldn't get out of that crowd because we belonged there, and maybe they didn't like school. Maybe they didn't like whatever you liked. I don't know. But that's what I've been pondering this past week or so is what happened? I look back at these video games that we used to play, and they are hard. I got some Bomberman footage too. Bomberman Hero, which is thoroughly unpopular. But that's okay. I enjoyed the game, but it was really hard. The boss fights more so than the actual game. The actual game was pretty easy. But, as a kid, I would keep coming back to this and coming back and back and back and keep trying to beat it, even though I knew I never would. Same with a lot of like Zelda games, which got stolen from me, sadly, but I will beat them one day on the Nintendo 64. That is my goal. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were both stolen. Either way, though, I plan on beating those, even though I couldn't back then. Because, there's just something about that getting back to my childhood. I think that everyone wants to do, but you have to realize that with the positives comes the negatives as well. You realize that it was so hard that, a lot of the times you can do it now, even though it was super hard back then. Um, and that's really the reason why I realized that I actually chose to pretty much stick with my dreams and goals as a child. I realized that I can do what I wanted to do back then, what I couldn't do back then. I'm perfectly capable of beating Star Wars pod racers now. I've gotten first place on every race I've raced now. So that's pretty rough. Back then I couldn't do it at all. Um, so, I don't know. Everyone has their own different dreams and goals, obviously. Mine were aerospace related, I would say, mostly astronaut or build jets and stuff, even if you tucked it away in the back of your mind as a child, I know I didn't think about it very much, but I knew they were there. I knew I had goals. So what I really wanted to stress today is that the possibilities, they're out there, even though we have a bad economy here in America or even in the world right now. Well, not everywhere, but some, even though it seems dreary, even though it seems bad, there are things out there that we can do. We can, work towards uh, getting to a better place. If you don't want to live somewhere, don't live somewhere. Like honestly, a lot of people say, "Oh, that place should change for these people," but you're very capable of saving up money and you know go elsewhere. I know many people. Granted, I'm in college right now, but I know many people who have already lived in even China um, for years, and they loved it. They made their money actually teaching English there, but they want to move back after they graduate college just to do more things. He's actually a chemical engineer, the specific one I was talking to. So, a lot of people would be like, oh, why would you want to move to China? Well, there's a lot of different places in China that have different ideals. China's big. It's got basically a bunch of different countries inside of it. Hong Kong is completely separate. But anyway, getting off topic there, I would personally move to Europe if I could, just for a little while though. I do enjoy it here in America. But like I was saying, search in unlikely places, even though you hear that a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, you'll find it where you last look or whatever. And it's like, well, not if you start in the most unlikely place first. Sometimes it's cliche, but it works sometimes. Um, I think a big topic or a big reason why people are like, oh, that's unfeasible, is that we don't effectively or efficiently save our money. Uh, Nowadays. We like, buying all these toys and buying things. We like having things and stuff. I've seen some things and some stuff. But um, honestly, save it. Save that money and go somewhere exotic. Don't be afraid to maybe set a limit with your significant other on presents every year or every certain year. Set a limit that you know is affordable, and then take a vacation. Go somewhere. What's very popular where I live is taking a cruise to Mexico. I'm sure that's really popular everywhere, or at least in the United States. And that's all fine and dandy. And, take a cruise to the Bahamas too. It's really great. But maybe try flying somewhere. Go to a further away country. Go to another continent. Um, because you'll see that it's extremely different than anything you see on your own. Lately, I've been getting a lot more into astronomy and astrophysics. I actually have a class in that, and that's really one of the big things that I enjoyed as a child was just looking up at the stars. Um, and I think I've made it one of my goals to go and travel. I think it's in 2016 or 2017. I don't remember. I'll look it up. Fact check. Um, there is a total lunar eclipse, and you can go in the United States. I know I was just saying get out of it, to go elsewhere. But if you can't afford that, do something wild like this. I mean, there's only certain places in the world that you can see a total lunar or solar eclipse, and um, in just a couple of years we have one coming to North America. So I mean, you might even want to check that out. That's pretty cool, I think. Anyway, guys, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this commentary, and if you didn't, well, tell me what I could do better. Anyway, hope you like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and enjoy the fighting monkeys. Shadow Rockets out.